In a poor village, a boy was born. He spent his days meaninglessly mechanical, monotonous, just like the other villagers. He had no idea what to do with his life. Then one fateful night, he dreamed of the sea. None of the villagers had ever seen the sea. No one could say for sure if such a vast expanse of water even existed. And when the young man declared that he was going in search of it, people laughed. They pointed at their heads, calling him crazy. But he set off and traveled for a long time. One day, he reached a fork in the road. He chose the path that led straight ahead. After a few days, he arrived in a village, a place of peace and prosperity. When he told the villagers about his journey, they shook their heads. "You're wasting your time," they said. "Stay here, be happy, forget your foolish quest." And so, for many years, he did. He lived in comfort. But one night, he dreamed of the sea again. And with that dream, he remembered his true purpose. So he left the village and returned to the fork in the road. This time, he chose a different road, one that led to a great city. The city dazzled him. Its colors, its energy, its endless possibilities. He studied, he worked, he celebrated, and with time, he forgot all about his journey. But years later, he dreamed of the sea once more. "If I don't fulfill my childhood dream," he thought, "what was the point of it all?" And so, he returned to the fork in the road. This time, he followed a road that led into the forest. In a clearing, he saw a small hut, and beside it, a beautiful woman hanging laundry. She welcomed him. Her husband had gone to war and never returned. She asked him to stay, and so he did. They lived happily. They raised children. Years passed. But one day, when the man was old and gray, he dreamed of the sea again. He knew he had one last journey to make. So he left everything behind and returned to the fork in the road. The last path was steep and rocky. He walked with difficulty, his body weak, his breath heavy. At the foot of a great mountain, he made a decision. "I will climb it. If I cannot reach the sea, at least I will see it." And so he climbed, hour after hour, step after step, until finally, exhausted, he reached the mountain's peak. From there, he saw everything: the villages he had lived in, the city he had once loved, the forest clearing where he had found happiness. And far beyond them all, on the distant horizon, he saw it, the deep, boundless sea. Tears filled his eyes, and before his weary heart took its last beat, he realized the saddest truth of all. Every road he had ever taken had always led to the sea, but not once had he walked it to the end.